How you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. And for a very long time, in terms of video games, Disney, Capcom. That's how that worked, right? Well, particularly in the US. Other parts of the world, it might have happened differently. But here in the US, if it was a Disney game, it was likely published and developed by Capcom. Well, somewhere along the line, towards the end of the NES life cycle, Virgin Games got the rights to publish games based on Disney properties. And for the most part, these games were only released in Europe. And that's a good thing because NES version of The Lion King and the NES version of Aladdin were dreadful. We talked about them earlier this year. But today's game is really, it's not a bad video game. It's probably their best offering in terms of their Disney work. It's from 1994, which makes it one of the last games released on the NES. And yeah, it's a solid video game. Kind of reminds me of Pitfall the Mayan Adventure. Let's get into it. Today, we're going to take a quick look at the Jungle Book. Now, the Jungle Book, it follows, to a degree, it follows the events of the film. Not really though, because at some point you gotta fight Baloo. And Baloo, that's Mowgli homeboy. Like, there's no reason why Mowgli and Baloo fighting. Ain't no way. And this kinda, it sticks to the story though, by and large, of the 1967 film. Fun fact, for those that don't know this, the original text from 1894, yeah, it's 1894. That makes the Jungle Book, the original writings, the original stories, younger than Nintendo. Yeah. But yeah, this is a standard hop and bop platformer. It's not a wildly innovative game, but in a lot of instances, we don't really need wildly innovative. We just need competent. And that's what we got with the Jungle Book. Thankfully, the NES version of Jungle Book handles a lot like the Genesis version. And that Genesis version is pretty good. I feel like I got a copy of it sitting on my game shelf back here. But yeah, standard video game, not a bad video game. Like I told you before, it feels a lot like Pitfall the Mayan Adventure. And Pitfall the Mayan Adventure was an absolute blast to play. I got the Sega CD version sitting somewhere over here. Yeah, but both games are really good, and the Jungle Book is a really good game. Surprisingly so, because of what we got from Virgin on the NES at different points, especially with Disney stuff. But yeah, if you decide you want to get yourself a copy of the Jungle Book for the NES, it's about $40, something like that. It's not brutally expensive, which is surprising considering when it came out. And I would absolutely advise you to check it out. This is a definite try before you buy situation though, because you don't need to actually buy a cartridge to get a copy of it. Remember, I don't know if y'all remember, but around 2020, maybe 2021, there was a bundle of quote-unquote classic video games based on Disney franchises, and it was The Lion King and Aladdin, and it had the different versions of both games. Well, they re-released that about a year after I got my copy and included the Jungle Book on it. So yeah, you can get this with that, and it'll be about $30, maybe less than that. But yeah, I mean, even if you get that and you don't like the Jungle Book, you always got the Genesis version of Aladdin and the Lion King. So yeah, definitely check that out. It's I'm not gonna say a great game. It's a good game. It's a good game, and it's a lot better than a lot of other stuff that Virgin Games published on the NES. But this has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow. Tomorrow, we got a superhero game that wants to be a martial arts game that wants to be a superhero game that's actually two games held together by duct tape, hopes, and dreams. Culture Brain ain't know what this game was supposed to be.